every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, good morning. It's another beautiful Monday, June 24th. I can't start this one without our big dog, Joel Hunt. It's your birthday. I know, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Ring a song, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Joel. Thank you for all you do here on MBR and bringing us forward and allowing all of us vets to heal as we speak. And that is awesome. And I cannot thank you enough and be honored to be here. So it's your day. Whatever you want to do, you do it, buddy. So let's move on. So today we're going to start. Remember how I said I love that I can take you guys through a journey. Yeah, it's my journey in the military, but it's also everybody else's. And we started with like purpose and we got into egos of people kind of in and out. We got into blah, blah, blah. You can go back because there's like 6 now episodes. I'm so proud. 6 episodes. Now this is 7. And this one is going to be about stuff that happened in basic training that, and let's face it, 18 years old, most of us were, 90% of us were anyway, and weren't quite ready for somebody in your face, not quite ready for you to be told every minute, every day what you're going to do, may not have been told about the group that you were going to be in there with. They failed to mention a whole bunch of things, but you signed the paper. So whatever they need and whatever they want, you signed away. So this is how we're going to flip it, right? So let's dig in. So we get there. They don't really tell you to pack lightly, right? How, I don't know. Again, I'm going to go back to the mid 80s, you know. So they didn't tell you this. So of course, I'll admit I'm a woman, right? What we need maybe a little bit more extra than men, you know. Don't get carried away because I'm not in that movement either. But so here I am. Parents for that Christmas gave me beautiful new luggage, you know, big old luggage, because I was going and I wasn't coming back for a good 4 years. And so they gave me this beautiful luggage. So I packed it. This memory, that memory, basic training, mind you. So I get into this awful bus that, if you look at it now, it was prime in its day, this steel gray bus with the sign Air Force on it and with windows that were, you know, needless to say, hard to open. But we were there. And they get us, we go on this plane, and I'm, you know, cool because now I have the rulers and I'm rolling away, getting there, get all the way there, get to beautiful Texas, San Antonio. And now I'm carrying. They're making me not roll my bag, but I'm carrying it. I am looking for the nearest damn trash can that I could find just to dump it. Because, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking, right? But of course, it'd be nice for someone to mention the fact, or is that just a life learning lesson? It was a life learning lesson. A lesson I'll never forget, right? Pack as light as possible, pack what you need in survival, and that's it. Learned it. See how I flipped that? That was a trigger. Anyway, it was like I cried because I had to throw my personal stuff away, and I was like, this is hot, this is heavy. They won't let me put it down. They're yelling in my face, pick it up. So this all being said, we get in there. I don't know how fortunate or unfortunate today, but I have to flip it because we are all beautiful beings. But I got in with the forced folks from Harlem, Bronx, and Brooklyn, right? I had people in my area, Scranton. They were all from Pennsylvania. People were from Scranton. And we went in. Remember I told you in the other episode I had beautiful long hair. Beautiful. Look at my beautiful hair now. I look like an alpaca here in Miami with the heat. And I'm sure I just won't even straighten it until November till we're out of it. But beautiful long hair. And I was so proud of it. Thought, oh, that'd be nice. I could roll it up, somehow or another and put it up there. Mention my word, somehow or another. And I know guys don't have to really do this. But guys, on the other hand, what you all have to do, they make you completely shave it. I didn't have to shave it, but you guys do. I wasn't allowed to have it on my collar. So the first day was rough, the sergeants, they're yelling, screaming, carrying on, doing what they do best, right? Trying to get everybody's in order and make it that this is, I'm your authoritarian figure and you're going to listen. And I get that. I got that. But what I didn't get is that when I didn't do my hair, and if we are all to be one, and this still, I'm going to tell you, every time somebody tells me they're from Harlem, the Bronx, or Queens, I look at them. I do. That's something I have to get over because I look at them sideways. Some things that you see on TV isn't really true. We all know that. But there's some things that are true. So what I had to learn hard is I had to learn that my hair wasn't important. First day I went out, of course, this lady, sergeant, in my face, yelling and yelling and yelling, screaming about my hair. My hair. Why was that so significant to me? And I just don't get. I to this day, why is hair so significant in the military? I would love to have a sergeant answer that. I really would. What's the difference if your hair is groomed or your hair is, I still, to this day, I don't get it. It's okay. Still hair, still alive. Didn't hurt me any. I grew hair back. But they made that really bad the first week. To the point where my hair would fall because I didn't know how to put my hair up securely. And it made my whole platoon run. Yep, I know what you're going to say out there. Little green pickle, you deserve a beating. Yep. Oh, I got it too. In the middle of the night with a whole bunch of boots, broken ribs. All from those beautiful Harlem, Queens, and Brooklyn. Hurt. It did. Then I went G.I. Jane. I just cut it off. It wasn't that important anymore. So I flipped it. But today, I can say, I'm sorry for my part. I'm not so sure those ladies are sorry for theirs. And I can't change that. That's on them. That's their karma. But it really makes me look at individuals when I ISO associate where they're from. Why am I saying this? Because as Americans, and we go and we defend our country, we are to have no judgment or ego. We are there to be justifiable. We are there to balance. We are there to say, enough, let's do this. Okay, but we're not going to sit here and get bombed and get beat up and get killed. I mean, we're going to have to retaliate a little bit because someone's going to have to calm down, right? You're going to have to calm down out there. and we have to balance. How many people, poor things in the United States, when the Twin Towers went, people looked at people from India or North Africa differently. All kind of slanderous words, all kind of things. But now you're stereotyping like I'm doing. It's not good. You can never be good when we do that, because everybody is their individual self. I know you know some of the words out there, what we use for the people in the deserts. They were slanderous, right? Sometimes I think that empts our ego, that empts our courage, that empts our velocity, especially those in the front line. They need to get that amping, right? To have the endorphins. The hell, right? Yeah. Yep. The hell. It was tough. It is not easy to look at somebody and tell them how you're going to kick their ass, or you're going to hurt them, or you're going to, right? How much ego is that? How much fight does that entail? It just does not. I don't even know what the heck's happening here. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing it. Well, I just turned it off. All of a sudden, my phone just started playing music. So we'll just power off. Isn't that nice? And I even turned the speaker off. So maybe that was the break, because I saw it was 11:11 on there, and then that came on. 11:11 means the angels are around me. Did you know that? That's a beautiful number, 11:11. So back to egos coming in for triggers. It was huge. Huge. Today I'm, 38 years out. 40 years out. But I'll never forget that night. And every time someone tells me that's where they're from, I smile. I smile and I honor the defiance that I had about my hair for a week. My guilt, my remorse to them for getting them in trouble. Because you know how that works, right? You have to raise your brother or your sister up. And if you don't, everybody's going to pay the price. Oh, they paid. All right? Now, who is ego there? Me or them? Right? At 18, you really don't know any better. Right? You just don't. That frontal lobe, it's just not there. It is. It's an unconsciousness that we decide to do something and we don't understand the parameters that involved. And not only for us, for our family, our friends, those around us, our brothers and sisters of arms who are around us, because they're all there to do the same thing you are, right? Defend and honor, balance, respect. Hold that flag high. Protect our families. Protect our soil. Be that Templar, that archangel that we are life purpose was supposed to be. But then when you have inner fighting, that's what I couldn't understand. Is it to show me that I had to conform? I believe so. Right? Big old Capricorn. I'm a big old Capricorn. And this moon, this full moon, is about a Capricorn. Determination, resilient, goal-oriented. Yep, that was me. Right? Authoritative, very authoritative. I had to bring that down too. I'm going to laugh on that one. But I had to. This moon is going to encourage us to move forward and break some of these barriers. Strong, this moon today. That's why I think we did this basic. I said I saw 11:11. So yeah, that is divine saying you need to speak about this, MJ, because there's some hurt people if they go back and think about it and they bring it up from the bottoms and the gallows. So that's the topic. We're on MBR radio right now, and I got to go to break. But tell me tag me. If you're out there listening and you're a vet and you had something in basic training, call. I know Big Grizz is in the studio with me, so he'll get the phone calls. We'll hear you, and we can do this. Let's go to break, and then hopefully somebody will come back to us.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Family is proud but torn, but if you knew him you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave, and then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Marching line. Hey. Hey.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Okay, we're back. So we were talking about events or traumas or scars of basic training, right? So now I'm going to talk about some things in the heart, right? Because that was a physical beating I told you about. So the heart, not being able to call home, right? Not being able to speak to your other loved ones. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I had to go. Couldn't call them, couldn't speak to them. They gave you a card. They gave you a postcard. And they're telling you what to write on the postcard to send it out. It's really funny because if you have a mom out there, I mean, dads too, but they know that's not your words. They're not dumb. They know it's not. So sometimes you kind of felt shallow, right? Shallow with your soul, shallow with the heart, because either you couldn't speak to them, or maybe you were like me in TSC and I couldn't talk about my military at all for years on end. So it got redacted, and it wasn't redacted until it came out, you know? And it's hard, especially then getting debriefed. We'll talk about that. We already did a little bit on another show, but these things are things you remember, you know? Do you remember the lines? Yep. Do you remember this? Yep. So there's a joke. One of my friends here, there's a little thing that came out, Tinkerbell and Taco Bell. And I've always been thick. I've always been a very short, stocky Italian, right? So the joke is I'm Taco, she's Tink. And in there, I was called the chubby chicken because I weighed 127 pounds. 127 pounds. And I was still a chubby chicken. Huh. I still haven't grown. My feet even haven't grown since ninth grade. But guess what that is? I don't know any other services. I can only tell you me again. So you got this belt, right? And on this belt, you got these 5-pound waters on each of them. And because I was short, right, I'm all the way in the back of the platoon, right? When we're marching, I'm in the back. So Chubby Chicken program makes you run all the way to the front to hold the cars in basic training on the streets so that they can pass, and then you can run to catch up with them. That was my job in that first week. My first week, it was a rude awakening and I was very athletic, very athletic. That's why I was very stocky. I was always big muscled. You name it, I was in it. Hockey, basketball, softball, track and field. I was even a cheerleader in the band, for Christ's sake. I was very active, which the band got me a little bit of a break because when I got into, I think it was the third or fourth week into basic training, I ended up in the drum and bugle corps because I could play drums and they were short. So I kind of got a little break, and I'm laughing because even though I got that little break, I didn't, because if you were going to be doing mobility tasks with the Air Force, then you had an extended 3 weeks that you had to stay to actually do some fights in the woods, and it was just fun, right? Fun. Yeah. Letting tanks roll over you. Or getting the best one I love was another trigger, and was a gas mask. So we got in this building with a whole bunch of gas, and we had the mask on, and they shut the lights out and they threw your mask off. Tear gas. That was fun. So you think about these things, and then you think about what you chose, right? Because not everybody had to go through that. So I'm thinking, wow, I wanted to be a comptroller, the Air Force. I wanted to air traffic control on the outside, be general management. But on the inside, when I was as a soldier, I wanted to jump and make the runway and hook up my EARTs and get these guys in and out. That's truly what I wanted. Didn't realize what I wanted. Here you go, that frontal lobe. Didn't realize what I had to do in order to make that job work. Again, I was not prepared. I personally wasn't, right? I was prepared with my ego. I was prepared with my determination and my strength of how much of a strengthful and powerful person who I was at the time, very determined. I dare you to put that block off my shoulder, I'll kick your ass. Yeah, that was me. It was, and I love it. It is one of those things that I don't regret. I don't ever regret. It was an amazing lesson, and it was what I needed to do for me in my lifetime, for this purpose that I'm in now. Because if I didn't feel some of these things, I couldn't help anybody else out there. I think it was my 8th day in. I woke up, and one of the girls in the platoon had hung herself in the shower. In basic training. It was really like surreal reality. 8th day in. I think about the 14th or the 15th day in, where you kind of had the women on one side, the guys on the other, and you go down and you do your calisthenics and you do all your stuff. The guys are always there doing the ropes course and stuff. And there was a guy, and he OD'd on his shoe polish. I don't know how that's possible, but OD'd on it. I couldn't even stand the smell of that. The fear or the complete depression is huge, is very huge. And the people who go in, you want to ask yourself, did the family push them in there? Were they like the girls from New York with me? They were pushed? Because obviously they weren't there. My mental capacity was of what the hell, right? Thinking I made a bad decision. But I wasn't depressed. I was more getting the red line, anger, and going, oh, I'm going to fight back. And I think that's what basic training is to give that vigor and give that that energy, to give you all of the courage and the endorphins, because that's what they did for me. And I went in the Air Force. I can't even imagine the Marines. God love you all. I couldn't, especially as a female in the 80s. That's rough. There wasn't really many back there at the time. And the ones that went in, a lot of them were pretty rough. And so as we went through, I told you I got to be in the band. But I still had to be with that squadron kind of thing. And we got to this ropes course. Here's another scar. I literally did not have, I don't know, you know, the over-under logs, right? The over-under logs. Well, they had them after a lot of other upper body, you know, between the pond ropes and all those things. And God love this beautiful man from Kentucky. He, I'll never forget his name. And he couldn't believe. I used to put these brown colored contacts in my eyes because I used to hate my green eyes. So I used to put these brown color contacts in there. And this beautiful guy, he kept looking at me. He goes, I think you need to go to the medical center, because I guess one had fallen. I don't guess, I know. One of the contacts in the rope course fell out. And so I had one brown eye, one green eye. And he's looking at me, and I'm just in total exhaustion at this point. And he goes, I'm going to help you because I really think. So he takes, and Mr. Strongman, right? And he takes and he just pushes me up on the log, and then I fall right to the other one, and he pushes. And I have such bad eyesight that I'm seeing like 2 or 3 different logs. So I thanked him for that. But there you go. It's a scar, but it's a good scar. It's one of those that I could laugh about going, man, I wish I could ever find you again. Because I just want to tell you how much that meant to me. Because I know if I would have fallen on that one, oh my God, my sergeant would have freaking, I'm sure, had a gasket, because she couldn't, between my hair and chubby chicken and my determination to overpower, I think she secretly loved me. I do. But it's something that we have to, figure out sooner or later. What am I looking at in time here? This light is blinding me. Okay, we got a couple more minutes. So speaking of her, like I said, I thought I was smart. I said it on the other show. I only wore one uniform because I was like, I am not ironing underwear. I'm not ironing these. I'm not doing it. Determination again. That strong-willed freaking Capricorn. Right? Even at 18. Oh yeah. So she realized that I guess there was something that I had dropped on my name tag that I was not aware of, but she noticed it during, morning every time you look at them. Can't remember what that was called, the morning drill or morning whatever. And she saw something. And she literally she took me by my hair and dragged me back upstairs for her to look at all my clothes. And yes, there was, I guess, a little bit of dust on the tops of the shoulders where they've been sitting, because, that's why we have wool blankets. So they make all this dust. So you have the dust every damn day. Well, she took all of them out. She made me carry them outside, put them in the dirt with water to make mud all over everything outfit I had. Then she came inside, ripped up my bed, threw my shit across the room. And I sat there just smiling. I couldn't do anything else besides smile. I don't know. There was a force within me. And of course, that pissed her off, right? Because she wanted to know what the hell I was smiling at. I said, you, ma'am, you. That was not a good thing. I'm sure you're all out there going, MJ, keep your mouth shut. Yeah, I couldn't. I got to say one more thing, girl. I got to be a white girl. I got to no. I had to do it. It's kind of like you can take a horse to water, can't make him drink, and you can punish him all you want, but you still can't do that, right? I got to take a break. You're listening to NBR Radio. I'm MJ with the World of Conscious Positivity, and we're going to play another one. We're going to get back, but this light's blinding me, dude, and I can't really see here, so hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Let's do this one. This cave is a one-stop shop to heal whatever ails you. Whether you just need downtime, whether you need respiratory or lymphatic, blood pressures, just any type of program that is medically necessary to you, I am sure salt's going to play one of those factors. We use saline for our eyes. We use salt water for our ears. We gargle with salt water for when we have sore throats. And we're even putting salt water spray, nasal sprays by our doctors up our nose. Except most of these things that are by our big pharma or our doctors are actually not salts, like Epsom salt. It's not even a salt. This is true to form. We're not kidding anybody. The properties are what they are. You can look it up in science magazines, health magazines. Himalayan salt is the only salt you want. You can digest it. You can eat it, burn it. You can lay in it like tub baths. You can use the actual steams with all the minerals so that you can actually put those minerals back in our skin and our face over hot steamy water. Salt, when you put the light on, sometimes they sweat and sometimes they water. Oh my gosh, my rock is leaking water. And that is the most perfect rock. I always tell everybody, I want that rock back. Because 1 out of every 100 rocks might sweat. And that's, it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It just means it's that much better. It's just that much better, right? Because we don't do negatives here. We do anything that's positive, that's what we do. Except our ions, we have to keep our ions negative. Why? Because the negative ion in the density of the salt creates our body to be a higher in pH balance, right? So that's the goal. Our goal is to raise our body in pH, lower the acidity level, because then we all become healthy. Healthy like weight, healthy like bacteria, viruses, fungus. None of them can penetrate. So that's the cool thing about our salt. So why not take a seat and get every amount of healing that your body can actually have for 1 hour in the salt cave. Let's get healthy together.
You going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? Just some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand. It's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Hey, we're back. The war junkies. Yeah, I guess that's what we are, right? War junkies. I like that expression. I don't know why it makes me laugh. It's not funny. Maybe that's my ego trying to turn that again. I don't know. But I wish I had that Soul Cave, though. I wish I had that Soul Cave back then, because in San Antonio, especially. Because on our freaking, our 5th week where we were allowed in San Antonio or whatever it was, I would have jumped in it. I would have jumped in it like no tomorrow. So I was sitting here thinking how many more scars of basic training. It's just a child. I mean, 18 years old, I'm sorry, but you got a big world ahead of you, a lot of life lessons and a lot of experiences and a lot of adventures and a lot of journeys that we have to take. And I literally just believe maybe we should rethink. I hear about this draft thing. I'm almost, when we draft people and we push them against their will, what happens then? Are they the ones that are on the battlefield that fear for their life because we're pushed them to do something and they can't even pull a trigger? It's not even in their DNA. I understand that we're all supposed to be brave and we're all supposed to have courage and we're all supposed to stand for our freedom and we're all supposed to, but there's some people who can't do that. I feel for them. I do. Because I know there's a lot of other people in this world who would jump at the chance to defend our honor, even if they're in their 30s or 40s, jump back in. They would do it than taking these children like me. Confused, thought, we can say anything we want. That's why everybody's insurance, if you have, especially these poor young men, 18 to 25, or 16 to 25, you're going to pay out your bottom side for car insurance. Why do you think that is? Because there's no fear. There is no fear, and they're very, very into their masculinity. There's some women now too who are that courageous and that spunky. Now there's men and women alike who that war game wasn't their life purpose. So why are we forcing people? Why? I can't today. I don't believe that, because they'll be the first ones who perish. How many thousands and thousands perished as our drafts in World War I and World War II and Korea War and Vietnam? Have we not learned as a society, as a whole, as a country? We can put them out there. Maybe do a little bit more for them, right? Look at here. God love Joel again. Allowing to have veterans to have a voice, right? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Right? A little bit more freedom, that we fight for our freedom. A little bit more will, that we fight for our will. Right? A little more safety. How do you do that, MJ, with war? I get you. I get you. I get you. How do you do that? Well, because if you're going to go in to be infantry, you already know you're facing war. If you're going to go in to be in a submarine, you already know what's going to happen. Now, that's common sense. But if you're going to go in as a nurse, right? Who says you're going to be on the front line? If you're going to go in for an airplane mechanic, who says you're going to be on the front line? Right? First responders, God love them. MPs. So those warriors, those beautiful freaking Knight Templars, the honor and admiration I have is beyond. The passion, my heart. It's not easy. It's not easy for some of these scars. I mean, I told you about mine. I can laugh now. How did I flip it? I told you, the ones from New York, I still watch them with the corner of my eye. And that's not right, because that's judgment. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to remove it, because that's not everybody. It's not easy. Smile, keep my distance. I'm getting there, because before they would say it and I would run the other way. I'd snark it and go, you don't even deserve my time. No, not today. Today I look at them, give a little eye going, okay, are you completely coherent and conscious that I can talk to you, or we're going to have an argument? And if I feel that energy, I just kind of go, oh, have a beautiful day, and I walk away, right? Because a lot of it can be my energy, right? Still having an underlining. So let's not forget that. We can heal ourselves. We can, and we can flip the patterns. I had to learn that. I had to learn respect. I had to follow order and not my order, right? Because if you don't follow orders, everybody in the military and the armed forces will tell you someone's going to die, right? Someone. Maybe our hair. I saw Grizz's comment. It's uniformed. I get it, but hair's not clothing, right? I'm not sure that if I was on the front line, hair is going to have anything to do with it. So I'm saying, how about we minimize some of the stupidity, ironing underwear. I could not flip that one. And I always comment, I can iron underwear. Why? Why did I have to do that? Where was the logic in the underwear, buddy? Don't say uniform, Grizz. I'm watching. Because I some of those tasks was an authoritative figure making sure that you just follow orders. Not flipping it to that, because then that makes sense, right? Has to make sense. If we can't make sense in our psyche, then we keep reliving it, right? Has to make sense. It has to. Beyond anything else, it has to make sense within us. Because when it doesn't, then nobody wins. We don't win. They don't win. Nobody wins, because now we're still battling one another. But it does train us to take command, especially as the beautiful soldiers and warriors that we want to become. And we had to start somewhere, right? And that's, I believe, in my soul, when I flipped it to say, thank you for saving my life, because those remedial tasks, those remedial things put me in check. Put me in check. Put me where I needed to pay attention. I needed to listen. Told you, I was a stubborn Capricorn. My dad, God rest his soul, he died 24 years ago, but he'd tell you, I was a hard one. No matter how much he wanted to discipline, I always wanted to say something. I always wanted to say one more thing. I always wanted to have a but, because I always wanted to debate my story. I always wanted to debate where it is. There's no debating on a front line. The hell out of here, MJ, right? Have to flip it. Have to sometimes be hard on yourself. Yep. Sometimes you have to love yourself more than you're hard on yourself. Love yourself to know that there's a purpose. Divine God, Father, Mother God didn't put us here without a purpose. And so everything that we have remorse, guilt, or we have scars from, there's a purpose. What is that purpose? Well, for me, when I look back, I came from very, very small country little place in Pennsylvania as a country bumpkin. Our biggest thrill was emptying pig barns in the summer at the Davies. That was my thrill, besides my swim team and stuff. But that was our thrill. That was our playground, right? Over 600 pigs. So I think, how bad can it be? Yeah. If I can have a 400-pound sow step on me, how bad can it be? So it could be challenging. It could be to a point where flipping remedial things and honoring and respect and admiration for those who are above you, those who have learned, those who had the experience, those who are trying to save your life by teaching you small remedial things. That's what they were doing. They were trying to make sure that when you get on a tour, you get assigned, you're listening, right? You're listening. Were you listening? You know, visions of my head of not paying attention, not listening. I heard from one of my friends who they got in a tripwire. And of course, we all know what happened there. Some of his platoon died. And in the simple fact, he wasn't listening. He came off of a phone call from a family and was distracted, didn't pay attention, knew he was going out. Done. Now, as a spiritualist, I would say higher self knew that. That's why he wanted to say what was going on. He just wanted to hear the voice one last time, the physical. That's how I would twist it in this lifetime with that happening. At the moment it happening in the physical sense of mind, not the metaphysical, I would turn it around and say, you need to pay attention. Let's go back to basics. These little things, the hair, the underwear, running, doing what you're supposed to do, stepping in order. Stepping in order wasn't easy. That was easy for me. I was in the band. I was in the drum and bugle. So being left foot and right foot all the time, that didn't bother me at all. Staying in formation and lines. That was the easy part for me. Yeah. Some of the rope courses were the easy part for me. The authoritative figure was not easy. It's not easy because of who I am. Other people could listen very well and not have it, and that's fine. And that's kudos to you. Maybe there was something else that they couldn't do. I'm over time again, but anyway, we're going to be right back. We're going to go to break. We're listening to MBR Radio. I'm MJ with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, and we're going to twist some things. We're going to go over here, and we're going to have our next one. Oh.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, all he wants is peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back. We are on MBR Radio. Again, it's Joel Hunt's birthday. Give him birthday wishes today, man. Flood him out on those social medias. Make him go nuts. All part of the process, Mr. President. So we're talking about basic training scars, and I've given you some of mine. And if anybody out there who still has them, I'm always open. This is my job. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to help you flip the pattern and try to find a resolution, right? So as we start to graduate, there's a lot of pride. Can only speak for me and what I saw. But there was a lot of pride on that day, that graduation day. Lots of it. Knowing where you came from, how much you had to endure, and the rigor that you had to endure from some of these beautiful sergeants, calling them ma'am instead of sir, and calling them sir instead of ma'am. Woo! That MJ, she got herself in a bunch of predicaments, you know. Didn't make too many friends. I had 2 really good friends who I did meet in there, and still today we laugh. We laugh. Going, you just couldn't shut up. I go, I know. I still can't shut up. I'm not like a parrot. But that's just who I am, right? Helping the world one vocal cord at a time. So that day, the pride, it was an honor. It was truly an honor. And knowing to see people in the stands that were there just because they were so proud. So proud. Whether your family was there or not, you had people honoring you. So proud that you did it. Nope. You know, one of the other horrific things we had, I watched in the squads, and I watched a guy jump out of formation in front of a car. He didn't get killed, obviously. He didn't make it into the service after that. But it's sad that they go that far. And some of our recruiters don't see it. Why? And then you sit there and you look at the empty bleachers and you think, were they the family members of those? Then they're not here? Short little time. And 3 deaths in such a short little time that I witnessed. 2, and the one really badly injured. I don't know what's changed today with that, but I think mental health is huge. And there has to be signs. Has to be. So maybe with the rigor of trying to get us to listen so we don't kill ourselves or we don't get on the battle line and we're not paying attention. Maybe they need to keep an awareness for these individuals as well now, right? And it's okay. It is freaking okay if they're not fit. I understand some people say, oh, I want to go home. I know I was there. Oh my God, I want to go home. No. But I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't that depressed. And if I sit back and I look back, yeah, if I knew today what I knew then, oh my God, right? Oh my gosh. How many old people would say that? It's true. It's true, but we had to live through it. Was it because we had to witness it? Was it because we had to understand that death's part of this? And we have to understand that. Death is ultimately a part. Even if you're not in the military, death is an ultimate part of life. And you wrote that. You wrote that. You wrote your plan before you got here. End of story. Father, Mother, God put you here because they accepted what you wrote. So now I have to look at where those souls going. Thank you for the awareness. Thank you for the awareness of not all people belong in the military. And it is okay. So let's start changing that paradigm. You all saw them out there. I know you did. You're like, she's just not military required. Or he's, right? Why'd they join? What are we doing? What's happening? Maybe we'll have less suicides inside of the military. They weren't even on the battlefield. Basic training. I hope somebody can email me, text me, let me know that these drill sergeants now are looking after that. Because what good is our talking about PTSD and suicide afterwards if we can't even get our brothers and sisters who decided that they were going to go in and can't make it, or forced in and can't make it? Why are we killing off our own? I see this is where MJ has to, like, I battle myself with this. Are they doing something? What are they doing? Right? Yeah, you're going to watch everybody else's, I can't remember who it was the other day, but I was watching him and he was like, yeah, you have how many different stereotypes of people. And, he started naming them all. But he never named those that were depressed, those that were suicidal. Why? Isn't that your job, to protect your soldiers? You're there as a sergeant to protect your troop. These are your orders. This is what the rigor is. This is what we're going in for. Well, drill sergeants, I'm not there anymore. But I pray to God that you're looking for them, because I know that wasn't on the list of, the different personalities coming at you. I hope so. I don't like the word hope. I pray that you see this. I pray it brings awareness. I pray that it brings attention. And I pray that if people aren't fit, why are you pushing them against the line just to commit suicide or ended up killing themselves anyway on the front line because they have the fear? Right? No good. No good. But those who stood proud, those who went through graduations, God love you, Saul. You got in. Where'd you go next? Right? Then you got your orders. Where are you going? Where's your orders taking you? Mine took me directly to air traffic control school, Mississippi. Some people get deployed right away, right? If you're infantry, just get deployed. You get to something and you start your basic, you start your training for whatever you're going to be doing, and you go. Proud moments, even when you could see your family finally. You got it like a week. I mean, I know I did. I got a week between my basic and going into Mississippi. And it was such a proud moment because for all of those who didn't want me to go, they were still proud of me now, right? They were proud to know that I was doing that. And I hope some of your family was too. And I hope that you felt that beautiful, this is why I did this, because I love them, right? This is why. I needed to, I love them and I love the rest of my family and my friends. This is why I did it. Ask a vet, or even ask somebody in, why are you doing it? Why are you here? Just like that commercial, right? War junkie? Nope. Honor. I'm about honor, balance, respect, right? You respect me and my airing and my area. I respect yours. There's greed. War is about greed. It's all it's about. Man's greed, wanting to control. Maybe instead of taking the infantry out, take him out. Why? It's like George Soros, and I'll say it. He was on our freaking list back in the 80s. What the hell is this man still doing here, controlling our governments? What good is it to kill infantry people? What good is it when they're not calling the shots? They're taking the orders. They're taking the commands. So maybe our governments should reassess Department of Defense. My opinion, for whatever it's worth. Why are we taking out men when they're being placed as orders? In some of these countries, they don't even have a choice to go or not to go. They don't have a choice. That's sad. Same like our draft. It's pretty sad. Because most of them, that's how they died. My uncle died that way. He got drafted. He got drafted at 15 years old. 15 years old. How does that happen? Yeah, I understand it was in the 20s, but how does it happen? 15. Yeah. I guess Tutankhamun, he had to protect his honor at 9. So I guess we're evolving. That's a good thing. That's a great thing that we all evolve, right? Basic training, it really gives you the pride because you endured a lot. And you had to take a lot. You had to give a lot. And they were going to break you. They were going to break you to conform what they wanted you to be, right? That's what it's about. Making you listen. Be the best chance that you have to save you on that front line. Best chance that you have to becoming a beautiful person of society, to help not just one person, but to help all. We call it the pickle down. We're all pickled. And you're going to learn to conform uniformly. Stupid little things. Why does that matter? Because it was all about listening. And today, because after that, when you went on your journey, you really paid attention. Because if you don't pay attention, you watch death straight in the face. Whether it was on the front line or whether you just watched people take their own lives. Right? Sickening. Saddening. But then you got to twist it around saying their purpose in life was fulfilled for whatever life lesson that they had to come here to fulfill. As a catalyst for themselves or for us, they fulfilled that prophecy. All of us do. They're not just the only ones. Again, God has no religion. There's no religion. Not one's better than the other. Because Father, Mother, God, who created us, allowed us to tell him our journey and approve it for whatever lessons that we were here. So if you went through basic training and you're here and you're listening and you still have scars and you can't get over some of them, let's flip it. Flip it. Flip it to a positive. Don't keep coming back like me with New York, right? Someday I'm going to really let it go and I'll just be like, yeah, I got my ass booted in the middle of the night. That hurt. Broke my ribs. Yep. Hurt. Anyway, think about it. Because now we're on that journey, right? We're on the soldier's journey. I'd love to take some of you with your soldier's journey like I do here in Miami. I would. You're so interesting and you're so beautiful because you did it. You did it. You made it with freaking courage. And you honored your life purpose and you honored your soul purpose. And not only that, you honored every person who walks the foot of the goddamn United States. People aren't thankful for you. They don't deserve you. I do. I love you all. That's our show. Basic training. We're going to kick it back there. Episode 7. You're listening to NBR Radio. I am MJ. And I'm going to be back next Monday, 10 a.m. You watch me. If I get that light out of my face, I can find my thing. Chris, can you take us out? I can't see.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations and your dedicated volunteer hours to make it happen. I encourage you to consider supporting NBR in any way, form that you can. Use this QR code that's attached to the picture, or you can go to our website at mbradio.us. That's MikeBravoRadio.us to learn more about how you can